Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Wars fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I am the time-travelling toy collector, and this is Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian and Grogu, as they appear on Maldo Kreis when they encounter some rather nasty, yucky, gooey aliens. It's a lovely little set. I picked it up on the secondary market, and as you may or may not be aware, I have only recently started re-engaging with Star Wars action figures for reasons I've discussed in other videos. So if you are so inclined, please go and check those out. I will have a Star Wars playlist. You can go and catch up on that particular history. But yeah, I saw this on the secondary market. It was eBay, and there was a few on there, and they were ranging in price. And this one, I actually managed to go in and do a buy now deal, which was, I tend to try and do that where I can, to be perfectly honest, because then it saves all that nonsense bidding. Saves going to a bidding war, because there's always a couple of people, and apologies if they're you, but there's always a couple of people who sit there at the very end and they're going, increase the bid, increase the bid. And it's like, oh my goodness me. So I usually tend, so if that's not an option to do that, then I will usually go in with, it's my highest bid, and then weigh up, you know, how angry, upset, devastated, etc. would I feel if the item that I'm bidding on goes to somebody else. And then I might go in and increase the bid, or I might not, because I might go, well, I'll be a bit upset, but actually I'm not paying more than 30 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever it might be for that set. This I got very, very, very reasonably, in my opinion, and it's in very good condition. It was sealed. I have unsealed it for the pace of this video, but it was sealed and in lovely condition. And again, I think because it was, and there's no logic to this, so I fully accept that, but I think because it was secondary market and previously owned, although it hadn't been, you know, or appears to not have been opened, I'm far less disinclined to open it, because I think, well, somebody else owned it first, which I know is a totally implausible argument, but you know what, I never said that. I never said I conformed to logic. So here we have the Black Series packaging, and it's quite a packed up pack. You've got, it's the 6-inch range, which I think, other than sort of those classic vintage figures or the retro figures, I think the 6-inch range is the one that is going to sort of be my new area of interest, although I will collect the retro series where I can for the as they release them in box sets. But yeah, so as we go into, you know, May the 4th, etc., I thought I'd share this video. It's, again, as I say, the Mandalorian. It's a lovely pack. You've got Grogu and an open egg, so he's possibly eating the offspring. You've got the sort of spidery creature, which is very reminiscent of a face hugger from how it looks in the packaging, at least. You've got Mando all Bascard up, and also with, you don't know if you can see it in the video there, but he's also got some nice sort of snowy frosting on him, in line with how things were. And he's got his pistol and his rifle. So there's quite a lot going on in here. Again, the packaging is very nice, very robust. It's displayable. You know, you don't, everything is visible. You don't need to take him out if you don't wish to. Should you wish to just sort of display him like that, you could. There's a very nice, it's, I want to say there's a metallic hue to it, but that might sound a bit ludicrous, but it's got a lovely, it has got a lovely, I'm going to go with it, metallic-y shine to the artwork on the side, where we can see Mando carrying Grogu, one of the open eggs there, and Grogu going, tasty. On the back we have another shot of that. We've got a bit more blurb about the sequence from which these figures represent. It's number 17 in the range. What else can I tell you? Well, not much. That's pretty much it for the box and the packaging. It's very well taped up around the piece, which is why I think it may have been opened previously and someone's done some restoration, or maybe it was damaged in transit. But there's no, you know, noticeable damage across the box, really, that I would consider, you know, damage. So don't move, and I'll get him out of the packaging. So here we go with everything out of the box, and this is a really nice set. Again, as long as you're prepared to pay in the region of between 25 and maybe 35 bucks for it, or pounds, that's what you're gonna, this is what you're gonna get. There's no diorama or anything additional in the box. It's held in, interestingly, with no ties. There was nothing I had to snip or cut to get them out. They're just held in with quite tight plastic friction to secure it there. But actually, this is not bad, because you've got here 3 separate figures with, you know, varying levels of articulation. You've got the little snowy play stand for Grogu as well. You've got some articulation in the spidery monstery thing that's probably got a name that I don't know, and you've got lots of points of articulation in Din Djarin's figure here. And I've put him holding his rifle in the first instance, and he's got a lovely cute feet. And again, and I don't know whether this is just me, so I'm more than happy for people to comment in the or put in the comments if this is you as well. But I really like it when I come across a nifty little feature that makes me smile and goes, oh, that's the sort of thing, if they'd incorporated that back in the 70s, back in the 80s with our figures then, that you'd be jumping up and down with excitement. And I still get a little frisson of that kind of excitement when something like this happens, and I'll show you what that is in a second. So let's take these in sort of probably reverse order of viewer interest, and we'll kick off with this nasty little beast here, which is, you know, it's oh dear, calm down. It folds flat with the figure, no, as flat as it can, obviously, but it folds flat with the legs, which I think is a nice touch, so it makes packaging it quite easy. And they're all on sort of ball joint type joints, so you have quite a bit of leg flexibility. The head doesn't give you, there's no flexibility or posability with the head section, or with the sort of part of me wants to call it a maw, part of me wants to call it like a egg laying appendage. So, you know, it's kind of up to you how you want to interpret it. But it's quite hideous. It is actually quite hideous. Part of me wants to see if it glows in the dark, but I'm guessing it probably doesn't. That would be a stretch too far, and probably something I couldn't go to sleep with. But it does make for a really nice figure, and you can almost hear it scuttling away there. So yeah, it doesn't give you any, but it's nicely detailed. You can see it's got all manner of sort of fleshy components. I don't know if you can see there, but there's what I'm going to describe as egg sacs around that sort of egg depositing appendage. Maybe they're not egg sacs, but that's the impression I get. But yeah, it's lovely in terms of its posability and flexibility. It's certainly more flexible than perhaps one might expect it to be. So I'll pop it back on there, and then it doesn't want to stay. It doesn't want to stay. I'll rescue it in a second. But let's go for next up here, which is little baby Yoda. Which of course is not really baby Yoda at all. It's Grogu. I don't see if you're seeing that particularly well. Let me see if that's coming out. What I'll do is I'll try and zoom in a bit. There we go. So this is little itty bitty baby Grogu, all 50 years old of him. It's a really nice figure. He's got, I mean, he can't, let's see, just check the head. No. So there's no actual articulation in the figure, but, you know, which is a shame, because they could have probably given him a little in the head, but they have elected not to. So he's got his arm reached out, what's going, oh, because he really wants another egg to eat, really. You can see some of the detailing there around the bottom of his little cloaky thing that he wears, where he's got some frostbite on there. It's not the best paint application, to be honest, but I will go on record and say it's also not the worst. And we can see him from the back as well. I do like his little face. I mean, it does present really well, I think, as a little figure. There's a lot of character. You can see his sort of hoodie thing there. There's a lot of character in this figure, you know, and I think they nail his face and those mournful eyes. And something that I really love, they didn't need to do this, they didn't need to do this, but they did, and I think this is really lovely, is ickle feet. They've given him little Kermit the Frog feet that just sit there. So it's basically a little block of plastic with bits, you know, but he's got little feet, and I thought that's really nice, and I think it's a little bit indicative of the set, and what seems to be coming out for me, indicative of this Black Series range. There seems to be quite a bit of added value in the figures, and so this is this little sort of Grogu friendly stand, which is where we see one of the spider's eggs, which again very reminiscent of Alien or Aliens, in terms of it, the top's opened and something's got out. But yeah, so it's but again, it's nicely done. It's a nice little paint job. It does the job. It's very evocative, and of course it's beautifully designed to accommodate Grogu sitting on there, either staring at it, face reaching, trying to draw something out of it using his burgeoning force powers, or just standing next to it and going, "Oh, look what I found!" Nasty. So I'm just going to pop that there. You can't see it because I put it in front of Mando, and then you can also get a sense of scale there. Just going to rescue this chap and pop him back on the block there. Yeah, stand there for me, thank you. Like he's, you know, cognizant. And then we have Mando himself. So let's get, and again, I was really not looking to start collecting Star Wars figures, because I know what I'm like, and it's already kicking in, folks. This isn't going to come as a shock, I don't think, but it's already kicking in. I really love the quality of this figure. It has numerous points of articulation that we would only have dreamt of as a child. Very nice head positioning, bit wibbly wobbly on a ball joint. We've got shoulder articulation that also includes, I can't really show it while he's holding the gun, but it includes butterfly joints in the shoulders, so his arms have outward mobility. You can see it a bit in this arm as it's holding the rifle. The wrists rotate. We've got articulation in the hips, you can see that, and in all directions. So it's not just an O-ring. I mean, it feels a bit like an old O-ring figure rather than a Star Wars figure. We've got knee articulation, and we've also got foot articulation, which also would probably be particularly good if he had his backpack, etc. It would, and I have him on a stand. We could then have like him in sort of rocket pack formations, and I suspect this is a repaint of an existing, or a pre or a post this release figure, so that they've probably got that option. He certainly does have on the back posts for a backpack, for example. We have this plastic cape. I mean, it works in context with the figure. It looks okay, certainly, but it's not cloth. It's not a soft. What's it called now? It always makes me laugh. But I'm supposed to call it. It's not soft. It's not soft. Whatever it is, it's not fabric. It is essentially plastic, and it doesn't sit too well around his throat. If that was me, I'd be so irritated by that. I'd be furious. I'd be taking it off. I'm not really sure it keeps you that warm, to be honest, given there's not much of it. It probably does come off. I haven't as yet tried to take it off. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, because, you know, that's how the figure is. I'm just going to extract this from his grip. It's quite a firm grip, actually, as well, which is quite nice, because so often with figures, they don't really hold on to the weapons. It's such a good grip. He doesn't want to let go of this rifle, which is, you know, not helpful. Let's see if I can maneuver it a bit. You're probably watching this screaming. This is why I don't do, when I'm doing Transformers videos, I don't do transformations on the screen, because this would annoy me. So apologies if it's annoying you. You have my sympathies. Would you let go? There we go, he's let go. Yeah, so the rifle itself is very nice. Very nicely detailed. You've got that faux wooden handle colour effect. You've got the sights there, a trigger which does actually accommodate his finger, and yeah, it's a very nice lengthy rifle piece. Very nice accessory. I am wondering if it'll attach to his back so he can hold it somehow. I might look into that. Yeah, so the thing that I was so yeah, you can show you those that arm articulation. So you've got some shoulder maneuverability there, and there's also an element of waist articulation. So there is movement there in the waist as well, although it's a little bit hampered by all the gear that comes across him. However, this is where the thing that I'm really quite taken with. Just move you out of the way there. So here's his pistol. Can you see that okay? So here's his pistol, and it fits into the holster, and there's actually a little loop here, which of course has come undone now that the camera's on it, but you can fasten that into the slot. I think it's supposed to marry up with where that hole is in the rifle, in the pistol, but of course it doesn't. So that could be me though, because I'm just mucking about with it. But it fits into that hole. It won't do it now, because I'm bragging about it, so I won't do it. But I just love how the accessory has somewhere to go. And I like that the figure has its own storage for the pistol, which we'll take out, so you can see that I'm not just making it up for the purposes of likes. That then clips shut back in there. Boom. Yeah, there you go. So it does do it. And then you can hold, and there's another hole there, so he's always got somewhere you can pop his finger. Although for speed, I'm just going to get this in his hand and not worry too much about it, because again, it's proving to be fiddly. He's decided now to start being awkward. But you can get him into some quite nice dynamic poses, which for me is, I think, a really important factor with these figures, because you do kind of want to be able to get them to be nice if they stood up. That would be a real win. This is why you still need some of those, there we go, some of those stands for these figures. But yeah, I really think it's an excellent capturing of the figure. I think it does a really good job of capturing the figure, and the character, and the posing is an added bonus for me, because of course, looking back at what we're calling now the retro collection, but those original molds, they basically had 4 points of articulation, and they didn't always have that, which was up and down shoulders, up and down hips, and a rotating head. Yeah, so I'm very taken with this, and I can only describe it as one of many that I've now got my eye on in the secondary market, and heaven help me if I pop into a Forbidden Planet. I have pre-ordered, just because I was in that frame of mind, one or two of the forthcoming releases that were announced at Star Wars Celebration 2023 here in London. So I'm excited about that, so I'll let you see those when they turn up. But they are the vintage collection, and so they may be at a slightly different scale. I don't want to say more until I've actually got them in hand, and then I can get appropriately excited about it. So yes, so this is my little Mandalorian set, as featured on the Maldo Kreis adventure aspect of the Mandalorian. Beautiful little figures. We've got, as I say, we've got Grogu down there with his little snack box. We've got the mother of the snacks up there, and we've got the very nicely posable Din Djarin, who's holding his gun in a most inappropriate fashion, but never mind. Thank you for sticking with me for the last 15 or so minutes. I'm very excited to be going on this journey into the Star Wars The Black series, but of course there's lots of other things knocking around the channel as well, and there'll be other things coming in the future, because there always is something different. So if you're interested, if this has been something that's caught your eye, caught your fancy for the last 15 or so minutes, then do please like the video. It really does help the channel, and why not subscribe while you're here? takes seconds. You could have done it by the time I finished this sentence, so hopefully you've done it. If I'd say do it twice, you could have done it twice, but just do it once. Otherwise, if you try and do it twice, you'll technically unsubscribe, so you need to do it 3 times. Yeah, just once is fine. Don't mess about. So yes, thanks very much for spending your time with me. I appreciate it. You could be watching a number of things and you chose to spend that time with me, and I'm very grateful. This has been the Mandalorian Black series from Star Wars set, Mandalorian and Grogu, and the yucky spider monster that I'm hoping somebody will comment what it's called so I know. I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector. Thank you very much for spending time with me. I hope to see you in a future video. All that remains for me to say is that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever, and this is the way. Bye-bye for now.